Let's get this paella started. So here we go. These are the ingredients we're going to be needing. And don't worry, you'll have all of the ingredients in the recipe. And we're going to be making sure we put our oven on preheat for 50. And we're going to start with some olive oil. I'm one of those cooks that knows by the feel of the pan if it's hot enough. And I'm going to add my chicken that I chopped previously into small chunks. And I'm going to make sure that I give it some color. Just cook it through as best as I can. I'm also going to be adding some salt. I prefer sea salt, so that's what I'm going to be doing. And some black pepper. Now, this is going to give it a ton of flavor. So I'm just going to continue to go ahead and just give it some color, cook it through. I would say, maybe 5 minutes. You'll see, because you want it not to be too runny. Oh, and there's my husband. He's like, oh, Belqui's busy. What's she doing? I'm just cooking some stuff. So here you go. I'm towards the end of cooking that chicken and making sure that it is not overcooked. I like it not overcooked because, oh, wait a minute. I am having a sip of wine. It's not going in there, don't worry. But anyway, so I like to make sure that the chicken is not overcooked because I want it to be nice and tender when it is in the paella. So that's it. It's pretty much ready to go. There you go. And I'm going to go ahead and get it out of my pan and put it on a plate. Just set it aside until I'm ready for the rest of the ingredients. Now I'm going to add my chorizo. Now this is Spanish chorizo. I went with hot chorizo, so it's really hot. And as you can tell, the heat is high and it's kind of going crazy. So I'm just heating it up for about 30 seconds to a minute at the most. And it will splatter everywhere. So just be super, super careful. But just keep going, keep going, keep going. And you'll see that it starts to caramelize a little bit in the pan. And once it's there, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic. Now, minced garlic is the way to go. Literally a couple seconds, and then you add the chopped onions. You can go ahead and chop a full onion, but I went with just about 1/4 cup of onion because I have some picky eaters. And I'm going to go ahead and just cook that through about 3 to 4 minutes until the onions get nice and caramelized, as you see. And then I add the chopped red peppers and yellow peppers. Now these we're going to go ahead and cook for about 4 to 5 minutes. We want them to be as tender as possible. And then look at them. This is about 4 to 5 minutes later. It is sheer perfection. And now I'm adding the arborio rice. It's a Spanish rice, perfect for paella. And I'm just going to fold it in until the rice is super covered with that olive oil and everything that's in that pan, the garlic, everything. And you can already see it's basically ready to go. Now I'm going to add my saffron. That's a pretty good amount. I'm going to sprinkle it over. And here's my turmeric. And of course, my beloved bijol, however you would like to pronounce it. I like a nice amount of that, and it's perfect for paella. And here we go, also paprika. We can't leave the paprika out. And I'm just gonna stir it. I'm just gonna keep going and going and going until it is perfectly combined. And it's gonna look something like this. And this is exactly what you're looking for. Now we're going to add our chicken broth. Look at that. And I wish you could smell this too, but you can't. But you can make it and then you can smell it. I'm going to add a little bit of sea salt. I prefer that just to give it a little more flavor. And I'm going to stir it, making sure that it's evenly distributed in there. And I'm going to bring it to a boil. Once it's at a boil, I'm going to lower the heat and I'm going to let it simmer covered for about 12 minutes. It's going to go by really fast and you're going to want to stir it throughout these 12 minutes to make sure that it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. And this is after the 12 minutes. I mean, it is beautiful. And even though it doesn't look like a lot, trust me, it totally is. Now I am adding the chicken that I cooked earlier. I'm going to make sure none of those juices fall in there, just the chicken. And then the chopped tomatoes and the frozen peas. And then I'm going to make sure that I also stir them in really, really well. And I want that chicken to get as much of the color from that rice as I possibly can. So as you can see, I've stirred it super, super well, and it's just coming all together perfectly. Oh my God, I wish you guys would make this because I am so sure that you would just love it. But this is the next step. Just make sure you stir it in as well as you can. And pardon my, mittens or my gloves or whatever. They're just super old, but I love them because they're perfect. I'm going to cover my pan with aluminum foil because my lid, I don't know if my lid can handle the oven, and I just want to make sure that I don't, like burn my lid off. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 450, like I had asked you before, for about 15 minutes, and that's it. It's after 15 minutes and it is ready to be had. Oh my God, let's uncover this and see the perfection. And it's really perfection. Like, I wish you could just go right in there and take a bite because it is absolutely perfect. So you don't need a paella pan. All you need is a skillet or something that's deep enough. And you want to make sure as well that it's wide. You want to make sure it's wide because you want it to cook perfect. So I hope you make this. Thank you so much for watching.